For the past 6 years in Holbrook High School, Alex Whitehead has impressed his classmates with his rapping skills under the alias of Doctrine. Whether he is dropping an epic freestyle or Holbrook's new hit single, everyone saw the potential he had. The reason we remember him most, however, is because he was always excited to be on Code Blue News.
Recently, Alex Doctrine Whitehead moved to California to pursue his dreams of being a rapper. CBN reporter Brianna Graziano has more on the story.
Alexander Whitehead, a former Holbrook Middle-High School student, has recently traveled to California to pursue his career in the music industry. His goal is to speak positivity through creativity and relatability, and has managed to push a whole different sound and message by combining powerful themes and creative concepts.
As some of y'all know, my stage name is Doctrine, and I went through many different phases when it came to choosing my stage name. Originally, it was Big Z. Some people might remember that. Then it was like TMP, which was like too much pressure. That was too corny. Ended up coming with Doctrine because if you look at the dictionary definition of the word doctrine, it's a set of teachings or beliefs. And I want my music for listeners to be a set of teachings or beliefs. I want to be able to teach them.
At a young age, Alex was introduced to music and fell in love with a numerous variety of artists, some of which helped inspire him to be where he is today.
I know that some of the teachers in the high school probably would remember me back in fourth grade rapping like Vanilla Ice or Eminem songs. And back then I fell in love with just like the sound of rap as a genre. In fourth grade, like I said, once I stopped rapping Eminem lyrics or Vanilla Ice lyrics, I started trying to write my own. And I kind of started to formulate the understanding that like I can do this myself, that I can teach people with music. And if people listen to my music, they'll listen to me. So I fell in love with it when I was younger, and I fell in love with it in a whole different way and realized I want to pursue it even more in the past couple years, to be honest.
Past struggles definitely played a role in this young artist's life. Through it all, he has managed to break free from his past life and start anew with his music.
But I don't want to necessarily make it seem like one is worse than the other, but just different stuff that the average person may not conceptualize or may not go through. And me moving out of my house at 17 years old, it definitely proved to be a challenge to get in a place where I can do what I want and be stable and whatnot. Honestly, I got to give big props and big shout out to my older brother, Nicholas. Throughout this whole process and this evolution of me starting out in Holbrook, Massachusetts, growing up and whatnot, and eventually making it out to Los Angeles, California, was a huge advocate for me and a huge supporter and help in that process. I wouldn't be in this exact position where I'm at right now if it weren't for my brother.
As an artist trying to make it in the music industry, Doctrine has a clear idea of what it takes to get noticed.
The number one thing is being different. When you make music, trends will come and go, fads will come and go, artists will rise and fall. But if you're looking to make a long-term career in the music industry, do it differently than everybody else. Mate, you got to understand the only way you're going to have longevity is if you differentiate yourself and speak on things that feed the spirit and feed the soul, as opposed to just feeding the materialistic mind. I hope that in some way, shape, or form, that what I've done or my path and people that are tuned into what I got going on and the journey that I've partook on, I hope that in some way, shape, or form, people can be inspired, entertained, or learn something from everything I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just unlimited love to everybody. That's definitely the number one thing. I want everyone to know I'm bringing unlimited love and positivity on my platform. And I put that on everybody else who's watching and listening to what I'm saying and taking part of my journey as well. The number one spot where I update everything in my music is on my Instagram. The release date for the album is October 23rd. It's called Twilight Zone, and I really can't wait to share it with y'all. But that's about it. Much love to y'all, for real.
Make sure to check out Doctrine's newest album and follow him on all of his platforms to keep up to date with what he has going on. This has been Brianna Graziano with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Brianna, and good luck to Doctrine wherever he ends up in life.
In NFL news, the upcoming Titans-Steelers game was supposed to be played on Sunday, has been postponed due to multiple Titans players and staff testing positive for COVID-19. This is the first game of the season to be postponed due to coronavirus in the NFL. The NFL announced that the game will be rescheduled. Hopefully, they're going to be able to contain the spread.
In the past few months, a good portion of Washington, Oregon, and especially California have been shrouded in wildfires. CBN reporter George Starr has an interesting look at the story.
Well, if this burning dumpster fire we like to call 2020 hasn't been hot enough already, now the West Coast decided that it wants to be on fire for the time being. According to a New York Times article, 2020 has been the most active year for wildfires on the West Coast. I mean, look at that spike starting in late August. Like, I'm breaking my neck trying to look that high. The rest of the nation, for the most part, is inferno-free, while the west side decided to combust in flames. I guess the West Coast is just built different. Like, bro, pour some water on the fires. Like, you got the whole Pacific Ocean to use. Jokes aside, the wildfires have covered about 850,000 square acres of land. To put that in perspective, there's a national park in Northern California called Yosemite. That covers around 750,000 acres of land. 100,000 acres less than the total amount of land destroyed by these fires. But hey, at least you know it's a boy, right? That was a joke, don't cancel me. Most of the fires are started from lightning strikes, and it just being a literal microwave on the West Coast. Fires could naturally start due to the heat and dryness in the areas. Some have started from the previously joked about gender reveal incidents. I don't get gender reveal parties that take it to the extremes. Next, they're gonna blow up the moon and see whether the leftovers are leaving blue or pink trails when they fall towards Earth. Like, just pop a balloon or dye a cake. Don't go burning down the whole forest, dude. Let's take a moment to give thanks to all those first responders who helped extinguish the fires. We can also pay respects to those who were forced out of their homes due to the fires. Let's just hope this year can't get too much worse, I hope. This has been George Starr for Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Did this dude, George Starr, really just say, I hope 2020 doesn't get worse?
This is the same guy who made a segment saying COVID will eventually pass.
We have to stop giving him dark topics. All jokes aside, here at Code Blue News, we would like to say our hearts are with the states affected by these wildfires, and we can only hope that the issue will be resolved sooner rather than later.
Speaking of COVID, President Donald Trump has contracted the coronavirus.
Our apologies to anyone who has not checked Twitter in the last 12 hours.
Donald Trump himself tweeted that him and his wife Melania have contracted the coronavirus and will be self-quarantining for the next 2 weeks. He's expected to have caught it from his top aide, Hope Hicks.
Switching gears, Chuck LaRossi has another epic Review 60.
Hey everyone. It's Chuck here, and welcome back to Review 60, the segment where I review albums in 60 seconds or under, or maybe over. We have the Dark Lane demo tapes mixtape from none other than the Toronto native legend, not in my opinion, Drake. This album was as lackluster as Drake could be, with songs like Chicago Freestyle that just get warped into your head of the most boring flows I've ever heard. Or even on songs like Deep Pockets, where he's pretty much just talking over the beat, Earl Sweatshirt style, and not in a good way. If you don't know on the show, I grade things from a not good to a 10. The Dark Lane demo tapes gets a not good. No, I'm not Anthony Fantano. I'm Chuck LaRossi, and you just watched Review 60. Man.
Thanks, Chuck. Maybe we were a bit too harsh, but hey, it's not my segment.
Usually we don't talk about video game news on Code Blue, because no one can do it justice quite like Aiden Kelly did. However, we have to acknowledge that Steve from Minecraft has been added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Everyone's been saying that 2020 has been the worst year ever because of coronavirus and politics. But come on, man, Steve got added to Smash. What more do you want?
I don't know about you, but I want to know what went on in this week's presidential debate.
Lucky enough, Kevin Hillman is here to break down some of the most important takeaways from this first debate.
Hello, and welcome to a quick news story about the debate held on Tuesday, September 29th, between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump. The debate covered some of the very serious issues that face the country today, including race and the protests that are currently ongoing, the vacancy in the Supreme Court left by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and also climate change for the first time in 12 years. And it also happened to be an absolute disaster. That's all from me. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Kevin. That wraps it up for this week's show. I'm Joe McLaughlin.
And I'm Matt Messina. See you next Friday.